How to remove negativity and rewire your mind. This is important. If you're not living the life you want, if you're not the person you want to be, you have to rewire your mind. The universe is mental. Your belief systems, your mindset is the blueprint for your physical reality, for your life. So if your life is one way, that's because your mindset is that way. If you want to change your life, you must change your mind first. The universe is mental. The world you've created inside your mind is the blueprint for your life. That's where your actual reality is created. It's created here first, then it's your reality. Whatever you want to exist physically, it has to exist vibrationally first. You have to be able to see it first. When you start going down this self-development route, it's kind of funny. When you start going down this self-development journey and you really start to internalize everything and actually understand everything, all these little cliche quotes actually start making sense. Like if you can believe it, then you can achieve it. No, it gets cliche, and because it gets cliche, like the meaning starts disappearing from these messages. But they're cliche for a reason. It's because they're actually fucking true. Like they're real. You need to understand. And when you really go into your life and really analyze it, you'll realize that all the bad things that happen in your life, it stemmed from your mindset first. It was all you thought about. It was all you feared. That's where your attention went. You thought it was gonna happen, so it happened. All the good things in your life was the same. You thought it was gonna happen, you believed in it, so it happened. So if you understand that, then you start becoming more conscious in your days about where you want your attention to go. You start understanding that whatever you focus on the most is what becomes your reality. So you have to be conscious every single day about where you focus, because you know it's gonna be your reality. I have a question for you. If I said to you that whatever you thought, like any belief you have, any thought that comes to your mind, it's got like 20 seconds before it comes true. So if I think about a pink elephant's gonna arrive right in front of me right now. If I think about me getting into a car crash, in 20 seconds I'm gonna get into a car crash. Imagine that. How much more careful would you be about what you think? You'd be so careful. You wouldn't allow it. You'd police your mind. You'd have you would have standards in your mind where you're like, no, I can't think about that. I don't think about that. I don't believe in that, because if I believe in it, it's gonna come true. Now that's actually true, but it just takes longer. It obviously doesn't take 20 seconds. It might take a year, 2 years, whatever. But whatever you predominantly think is what becomes your reality. Whatever idea you give your emotions, you give your mind to, give all your energy to, all your focus to, is what you create. You have to understand this. That the reason why people say that you're the creator of your universe is because you're actually the creator of your universe, but you just don't know how you're creating. And you're creating by what you give your thoughts, your emotions, and your habits to. So you have to understand that when you're faced with adversity, when you're faced with situations that aren't favorable, that you didn't want, your thoughts, your habits, your emotions, the way you control those in those moments is everything. That's what really creates your future. When things aren't going your way, when you're in tough times, how your mastery over your thoughts, your habits, and your actions are key. That's when it matters most. That's when it matters double. Like because negative emotions are the strongest. So whenever you get into bad situations and your negative emotions start running wild, you're creating at double the speed. Everything you're fearing is coming fast. It's coming true faster at double the rate. So in those moments, that's when you really have to be conscious. Because like I said, if everything happened and everything manifested in the next 20 seconds of you thinking it, you wouldn't allow yourself to think certain things. Or if you did, you certainly wouldn't build on it. You'd be like, change the channel. I need to think more positive, change the channel. But what's more interesting is that if you knew everything that you thought about manifested, then what would you think about? You'd think about being rich, you think about having a Lambo, 20 seconds later you have it. 20 seconds later you have it. So that's what you have to do now. And you just have to be patient because obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. But this one here, this lesson today, I want to talk to you about how to deal with adversity properly, so that you're not repeatedly creating the same negative outcomes over and over and over again. And I'll show you how you do that and how I did that. Like throughout my career playing professional football, I went into a period where I had the same repetitive outcomes coming over and over and over and over again, but I didn't know how I was doing it. I didn't know how I was creating this. That I thought I was working out of it. I thought I was doing the right things, the right physical actions to get out of it. But there's other things that I didn't control that allowed it to keep spiraling and keep getting worse and keep getting worse and keep repeating itself. So In order to understand the importance of handling your emotions, your thoughts, and your habits through bad times, you need to understand how manifestation really works, like how you create. And how you create is through those three things that I said. You're gonna hear it all the time: thoughts, habits, and emotions. You create with these three things. So you can either create what you want or you can create what you don't want. And the deciding factor of that is gonna be where you put these resources, your resources. So a lot of the times in people's lives, they try and focus on all the things that they can't control. The how, the when, other people. And then when they do that, all their focus goes to that. So then their focus moves away from the things that they actually do control, the thing that's most powerful about them. That's their thoughts, their habits, and their emotions. So I want to give you an example of how manifestation works. I'm going to give you an analogy. So I want you to think about you being at a restaurant. Let me draw this as well to give you some visuals. You're at a restaurant. This is the table. I'm not a good drawer. I'll just go with it. This is the chair. This is you. So this is how you create. Like, don't take this lightly. This is the answer. This is how you create what you have in your life. This is it. Table, you're at a restaurant. This is a waiter with a plate of food. Back here is the kitchen. Put a K there for kitchen. You, waiter, kitchen. Food. Now, this is your own designated waiter. Like, this guy's job is just to bring you food over and over and over again. The problem with the waiter is that the waiter can't communicate. The waiter's deaf and the waiter's blind. Can't see nothing, can't hear nothing. You can't speak to him. But he can communicate. He can communicate. But he can only communicate through emotion. This is the power of emotion. He can only communicate through emotion. So if he brings you, let's say he brings you a bowl of rice, and it's the worst rice ever. You're like, oh my God, this is fucking horrendous. Like, what is this? Oh my God, this is dreadful. The only thing that he hears, that he feels, is emotion. The fact you gave it emotion. Oh shit, like, you gave me emotion. That person wants more rice. So now his only job is to bring you more of that food that you emotionally reacted to. So he'll be like, emotion. Now he doesn't care whether it's negative, he don't care whether it's positive. He just felt emotion. So his job is to go back to the kitchen, get more rice, come back, give you more. You react again. Go back to the kitchen, get you more rice, give it to you again. Now let's say he gave you a cake and you loved it. It's like the best cake ever. You're like, oh my God, this is the best cake. I'm so grateful for this cake, it's the best. He's like, emotion. His job, go back to the kitchen, get more cake, come back, give it to you. So the analogy of this is the waiter is the universe. The plate of food are the events in your life. Meaning, whatever events that happen in your life that you react emotionally to, that becomes a magnet. It becomes a magnet to more of those events. It's like, reacting emotionally, that person must want more of it. That's how you communicate to the world, through your emotions. When you react emotionally, you become a magnet for it. It will give you more. Emotion, more. Emotion, more. Whether it's negative or positive, it doesn't matter. You just reacted emotionally, so it will give you more. So now you need to start being aware of what you give your emotion to, because whatever you give your emotion to is what you get more of. So if you gotta understand, like, think about all the times where you get fined and you gotta pay money. You get parking tickets for your letterbox. You get cancelled tax. You get all these bills that you have to pay. Whenever you have to fork out money and you react emotionally to it, like, you know how you get when a letter comes through the door and you know it's money that's got to come out, you start getting a bit panicky. Like, you start fearing it a little bit. What are you doing? You're reacting to it. It got given to you, the universe gave it to you. You reacted emotionally to it, so you get more and you get more and you become a magnet to it. You become a magnet of having to fork out money. So you have to, and then what's the biggest mistake people make? When they get positive things in their life that they love, the things that they actually want in their life, they just dismiss it. Dismissed, so they don't show no reaction to it. They act stoically through the good things in life, so it doesn't really come back to them because you haven't signaled that you want more of it. So we're programmed to always choose and prefer the things that we don't want. That's what we learn. You have to unlearn that. You have to rewire your mind to learn, to start choosing what you do want, so you get more of it and less of what you don't want. Like so many times in my career, like I always tell everyone, my career, my football career, like going from young boy to the Premier League, I had so much achievement, but I felt like the majority of my career was like 90% failure and only 10% success. Because I used to dwell on the negativity. I used to dwell on the failing side of things. Like I would never let it go. I'll react so emotionally to it. If things didn't go my way, like I'll be stressing about it for ages, months upon months. But then when the good things did come into my life, when I made my Premier League debut, when I played against Lionel Messi, when I done all these great things, then I just dismissed it. Like I showed no real gratitude or no real emotion, because we got trained to do that. We got trained to be humble. We get trained to not really celebrate our wins. It's the biggest mistake that we can make. So you have to flip it. That's what rewiring your brain is all about. When good things happen, celebrate it. Feel so grateful. Like ask for it more. Just be so grateful for it. Don't ask for it more, because then that proves that you don't have it. If you do have it, you just allow the gratitude of having it just flood through your mind, through your body, because that's you choosing more of that. So then when negative things happen, you have to act stoically. And stoically means controlling your thoughts, your habits, and your emotions. Not giving your emotions to things that you don't want to give it to. That's how you break out of repeated negative outcomes, by being stoic in the moments of adversity. I hope you're enjoying the video. The fact that you're here shows me that you're into self-development. You want to become the best version of yourself. You want to overcome all your insecurities, all your problems, and you want to reach the highest version of you to create the life that you want. So I'm here for you. This is what I do. If you guys need any questions answered, you need me at all, the best place to contact me is on Instagram. DM me on Insta. I get back to all the questions, all the requests, and I will answer you always. This is what I do. This is what I live for. So hit me up and let's do this. That even in adversity, you still think positively. You still find the positive seed in every single negative situation. If you hear me sniffing and talking like I have a cold, it's because I actually have a fucking cold. But I'm still here showing up for you lot. So understand that. So from now on, if you know that, then stop failing the adversity test. Find the positive seed in every negative situation. Because you guys have to realize, how many times in your life have you had a negative situation and then later down the line it turned into a positive? Like that happens all the time. So then you got to ask yourself a question. When the negative situation comes up and you have a whole backlog of evidence that when bad things happen, they turn into good things. So then why when bad things happen, we stress out so much about it, as if the world has just ended? Because we have so much proof that the world has just begun. When bad things happen, it turns into the best. Now think about all the things in your life that you once thought was negative. You once thought the world was over. Now if I ask you now, do you want to take them back? Do you want to reverse them? You would say no, because you'd be like, oh, if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't have this, then I wouldn't have this, then I wouldn't have met this person, and I wouldn't have this job, I wouldn't have done this. Like it wouldn't exist, so you wouldn't take it back. So then if we understand that in every situation, it ends up becoming positive, then why the fuck do we care what matters? Why do we fear all the time? When you really internalize that, you can actually stop fearing. You actually live your life through faith and through belief and through positivity, then all the negative shit that you've been designed to operate as. That's when everything changes. That's when all your thoughts, your habits, and your emotions move towards only the life you want. Now you only focus on the better side, your higher self. Then you become aligned, physically, mentally, and spiritually, all aligned into the way you want to go, and you stop fearing because you understand there's no point. You understand there's no reason to fear because everything always works itself out. How much evidence do you have in your life about that? So much. So don't fail the adversity test. You need to be conscious. The biggest part about this, you guys need to write it down. The biggest answer to all of this is to be conscious. Because to be conscious means you have choice. When you're not conscious, you don't have a choice. There's no choice for you. You're like, that's your life, you get given it, and you have to settle with it. But when you're conscious, you have a choice. Like I always say, like, we got programmed, we learned life. We learned to perceive life through the lens of other people that only saw fear and doubt. So we're only gonna see fear and doubt. But that's when we was younger, that's when we wasn't conscious. That's when it was easy to be programmed, but you're older now. You're no longer a kid. So now you can actually be conscious and choose. Okay, a situation just got put in front of me. Shit's kind of falling down in my life. I can choose what I want to think about it. I can choose that everything's gonna be the worst, that my life is gonna destruct. Or I can choose the side of faith where like, no, this is cool. I need this in order to achieve. I needed this. I needed to hit rock bottom so that I can go up. I needed to feel this pain so I can feel joy when it comes to the point of me, when it comes to my turn to feel that. Like I said about in the last video, if you watched that one, about the law of polarity. The law of polarity, if you understand this, it will save you so much. It will like save your life so much. The law of polarity. This will save you. The understanding of this will save you through bad times. The law of polarity means that there's a dual to everything. Whenever I go through bad times, all I say in my mind is law of polarity, law of polarity, law of polarity. Because it gives you an understanding that you're supposed to face negativity. Your life isn't supposed to be 100% love, faith, and all the good stuff. Because if it was only that, then it wouldn't even be valuable. You wouldn't even want it anymore. The only reason why anyone wants anything is because it's difficult and valuable. Like it's difficult to get, so it becomes valuable. And it's an experience that you don't feel that often because you have to have a portion of your life where you feel the negative side of things. And only through contrast of the negative and the positive is what's worth living anyways. It's what's worth the higher side of things is because you felt the negative. So the law of polarity means that everything has this opposite. So if there's love, then there's fear. If there's confidence, then there's lack of confidence. If there's joy, then there's sadness. And the only reason why you want to feel, why it feels so good to feel happiness is because you once felt sadness. So whenever you're going through tough times, whenever you're going through adversity, understand that it's just something it's a non-negotiable for what you have to go through in order to feel the best you've ever felt, in order for your soul to have the best experience. It's a prerequisite to your dream life is by living your nightmare first. You live your nightmare, that's why your dream's so good. If your whole life was just a dream, then it wouldn't even be that valuable. It wouldn't even feel like a dream. It wouldn't be a dream. It would just be an average life. Now, if you guys have ever met anyone that struggles to feel things, they're like, I just don't feel anything. I don't feel fear. I don't feel love. I don't feel anything. That's probably the worst position to be in. And that person, if you spoke to that person and asked them, how valuable would it be for them if they could just be scared of something? They'd be like, I would love to. Like not feeling nothing is the worst thing that we can do, because our goal as humans, as a spiritual entity, is just to feel a range of emotions, to feel a range of experiences. You're supposed to feel everything. God is here to give you all options. It's like you're the creator, choose what you want. You can have fear, you can have faith, you can have it all. So it's just there to experience all. So in the moments of adversity, through fear, through destruction, that's a chance for you to decide like, okay, I've experienced that, but I don't want that. I prefer this one. So that's where you put your emotions. That's where you put all your resources and you go for that. But just understand, guys, when you're going through it, it's just something that you have to go through, and it's not to be taken too seriously. You don't ever go crazy when it's raining and really start defining your life and thinking life is the worst because it's raining. Same way you don't have to do it when you go through bad times. When you get that letter through the letterbox where someone's trying to take fucking money off you. And if you're in the UK, that's basically every single day. So in those moments, you have to choose where your focus goes. Change your belief about it. When something comes through the letterbox, it's like, oh, the more money I spend, the more money I make. Then it becomes a positive experience. Then you've taken your focus away from fear and you put it into positivity and abundance. And then that's what you create. So are you failing the adversity test? That's a question you've got to ask yourself every single time adversity comes into your life. Are you going to fail? That's an opportunity. Imagine you have this vision of who you want to be and how your life wants to look. You're like, I want to be this successful entrepreneur. I want to have all this abundance. I want to have all this money, all these cars. I want to have all this influence and responsibility. Remember the law of polarity, meaning that everything has a deal. So becoming this successful person and this entrepreneur with all this responsibility and abundance, it doesn't just come with the benefits. That's why people say be careful what you wish for, because what you wish for comes with an opposite end. It comes with haters. It comes with more problems. So if you're telling God and telling the world that you want to become this person, then you have to be tested with all the other stuff that it comes with to be sure that you can deal with it. And sometimes the negative stuff comes before the benefits, become before the success. So it's got to ask, like, okay, if you want to be this person, can I check if you can deal with the negative side first? Can you deal with lack? Can you deal with disappointment? Can you deal with sadness? Can you deal with negative people? And if you can't deal with it in that moment, then God's like, oh, you must not want to be that person, because to be that person comes with that stuff. It comes with it. So when negativity strikes, that is your opportunity to reinforce who you want to be. That's you saying, the way you deal with it, if you deal with it in the right way, stoically, that's you saying, yeah, I can deal with it. I'm ready for all the positives, because I can deal with the negatives. If you fail with the negatives, then you don't deserve the positives. So do not fail the adversity test. Well done, guys. You reached the end of the video, which shows me that you are the real soldiers. You're really fighting that war to self-mastery, and it's all that you want and all you obsess about. So look, I want to give you my personal number to connect with me, whether it's for coaching information or it's just to ask me a question and just to reach out for some help. So you can message me on 054-394-9393. That's 054-394-9393. Area code is +71. It's a Dubai number. So guys, look forward to hearing from you.